Hello and welcome back to the Villa View for a different style of video. It is a Twitter react after Aston Villa's 1-1 draw with Burton at the Pirelli Stadium. So we've got 10 tweets from people that have been tweeting us in and we're going to go through them. I'm going to analyse them. No view is obviously wrong, so let's go and see what people have been saying after the game. I'm also going to add a bit of analysis from myself as well. As I must say, in the preview, I did actually predict 1-1. I'm not smug at all about that one, I promise. We always knew that it would be a tough game. They've beaten Huddersfield Town recently. They ran Newcastle United close and the same with Sheffield Wednesday, so they're a really good outfit. And they proved it today. Today's result isn't the result that's missed us out on the playoffs. It's the results a few months previously in January, February and under Roberto Di Matteo. But for me, I always expected it, and well, I'm just relieved that Jonathan Kodjia's injury isn't as bad as first feared. We're going to be talking about that very shortly. And we're always going to have off days, but I must say, though, the bottom line is, though, we are still unbeaten in so many games now. We've still got that really good run of form, and for me, a point was a fair result for both teams. And for Burton, I think that a point, they'll be laughing, they'll be really happy with that. And for Villa, considering our away form this season, I think a point's okay for us. It's not great in terms of that tiny bit of hope that we had for the playoffs. But for me, yeah, I think it's a fair result all around. Of course, it is a video, though, that is about listening to more what the fans say, not me. So let's go and see what 10 fans have been saying that have been tweeting us in with their thoughts on the game. So the first tweet is from Chris Dolan, who said it's not the end of the world. You win some, you lose some, you draw some. But he's just hoping that Kodjia will be okay. And in this case, yeah, I've pointed that out, that I do think that we have come to that game where we sort of probably expected more than we got out of it. But for me, I thought the point was what I was sort of expecting anyway, because of the way Burton have been recently. They've played some really good teams. They've been getting some good results at them as well. As for the point on Jonathan Kodjia, the next tweet is actually coming in from Tom, who said about Jonathan Kodjia's injury, hoping he's okay for the Reading game. Steve Bruce has told the local media that it is going to be a dead leg. So he is quite hopeful that he will be making the Reading game, which I think is important. Is obviously one goal now off that Peter record of 20 goals in the domestic season. So close to that now. Another good performance from him while he's actually been on the pitch today, scoring so early on. He's a credit to our club at the moment, the way he's been playing. And as Chris has touched on in his tweet, you win some, you lose some, you draw some. Today's one of them games. So the next tweet has come in from Alex Warren, who said, gutted that we didn't get the win and playoffs aren't looking as likely, but can't complain at recent results. Good foundations for next year. Yeah, I think for me that hits the mark. I think we've always been realistically thinking since February onwards that this is about setting the right foundations for next season, getting those players gelling together. And that's what we've been doing at the moment. We've been trying a few different things. And really, we've had a really good run of form. We're getting to know that team, what works well, how we can play different systems, making sure that players are in a good fitness state, and making sure that these players understand their defensive duties as well as their attacking roles as well, and how compact that Bruce likes to play as a style of play. So RG has tweeted in, need to stop sitting behind the ball. Also, if we want any chance of going up next season, we need to sort out the away form. Yeah, first point, I agree about sitting behind the ball. We can't keep going into games scoring first and then trying to sit back and absorb that pressure, because on games like today we've been sort of hit by that point. We've sort of not managed to actually do anything since then, and we've ended up drawing the game. If we'd have pushed on, perhaps we could have got another goal. I think really we're quite compact. I think it's fairly solid, but as I say, we can't keep absorbing that pressure. The away form is something that will come. I genuinely think that it will, because at the moment, if we're looking at it, last season I'd have laughed if you said we lost only a few games this season at home, the way our home form was last season. We've improved the home form so much this season. The next step is that away form. If we can do that, then we'll be laughing. But I think that's just something that will come. That's not something that can be solved in any particular way, because the tactics that we play mean that we don't really change much in terms of if we're away from home or at home. We keep the same sort of system. So for me, really, that point of getting that away form sorted, it will happen. George has said, 5 games unbeaten with 4 wins, can't complain. Yeah, we need to keep pushing on, keep going, keep pushing forwards. Big pre-season ahead for us. But for me, yeah, that's the main point we need to take from this game. We're still unbeaten in the past 5 games. Ian Woodcock has said, slim playoff hopes are over and concerns about inability to score more, but still reasons to end the season positively and continue good form. I think that at the moment we have to remember that this side is still fairly new together as a unit, and we've got to make sure that this squad is forming as one next season, having different tactics, as I've touched about, so we're not just the one-dimensional side we've seen this season in terms of where the goals are coming from. Let's make it so more players are going to be scoring goals. Let's make it that this side has got a wide range of ability and not just that one dimension we currently do have. James has said, stop loving Adoma, he's so painfully poor. Now, some of you may remember a few weeks ago now, I picked out Adoma as being a really good sign and someone that's been doing really well. But since then, I must say, I agree with your point, James. He hasn't been great for any stretch of the imagination. He's not been his usual self. He's not been doing what he usually does. Whether that's tiredness, I don't know. I'm not going to dress it up at the moment. It hasn't been great. And let's face it, the form in terms of performance hasn't been great, as I've touched on. But still, you have to remember that this guy's got more assists than anyone else this season in our side. So really, you can't be doing too much wrong at points in the season. But yeah, at the moment, he hasn't been great whatsoever. But I don't think that's anything to take from it. I just think he was on a bad patch of form, and I think he will come back. So Dan said, we can't score without Kodjia. Playoffs was a dream, not a reality, and we need to start rebuilding for next season. Yeah, I think we already are in that rebuilding. Yeah, I do already think we are in that rebuilding stage. I always knew that Bruce sort of could tell that he knew that those playoffs chances were really far-fetched and quite gone for us. So for that side of things, I think we're okay. I think Bruce has already been planning really for next season since January. If you look at the signings we made, I think that's planning for next season already. But yeah, Kodjia, so happy that his injury isn't as serious as first feared. And we do need to look at alternatives to make sure the likes of Hogan are firing as well. So the next comment is from Hutton is Jesus. The name. Okay, no disrespect to Hutton, I must point out. But yeah, the point is the fact that the small possibility of playoffs is over. Hopefully Kodjia's injury isn't bad. Another great performance for the big man. Yeah, really good from him, as I've touched about before. Playoffs, always been a dream rather than a reality. You've always got to look up though and think, yeah, it could have been possible. But yeah, if we're being honest, the form in February and January is what let us down, as I've said. I'm going to reinforce that point. The same as the form before Steve Bruce originally came into the club. The last one, it is from Robert Parker, who has came and said that probably for the best, as I feel we need a second season in the Championship to work out all the kinks. There is still a lot of kinks in this side. We need to work out having a goalkeeper that's a permanent fixture in the side, for one. We need to work out a system that works as well as the current compact system that we've been trying at the moment and been winning with. We need to work out a few different bits and pieces. So for me, yeah, I think it could have been too soon as well in terms of the squad turnaround. Obviously, it's great going up a season before. No qualms if it did have happened. But for me, yeah, I think the next season is important for us. I think it lets us lay those foundations. Let's get that base layer. We're going to understand the Championship better next season, which I think is really important, and we can really make a real fist of it. We did say we'd have 10 tweets, but we've had a very, very, very late entry for this. And it is from a guy called Dan Bardell. You moan about me being late, and then you tweet us when we're nearly finished the video. So I feel like we have to get it in because you've insisted on it, but you are late. Considerably late for this video. Can't knock what the lads have done. We were never going to win every week. Burton deserves something at Villa Park, so fair play to them today. I think that sums it up quite well. Obviously, Dan thinks he is Mr. Popular as well with his 41 likes on that tweet. So you sort of shoved your way in there based on popularity, seemingly, with your 41 likes. It's probably even more by now. This is something different. If you have enjoyed it, then please do let us know below. If you haven't enjoyed it, let us know as well. And if you are new to the Villa View, then do subscribe with your post notifications on. If you enjoyed that video, why not watch another one? Click the video choices on screen now to go and watch them in full. And don't forget to subscribe. Click on our logo there on the left and press subscribe. Easy.